Hello, my name is Shamika Gaskin, and I am doing my discussion video for the week 6 discussion board, which is on ethical violations and board discipline. I took some pretty extensive notes here just so I could keep up with the requirements of the questions that were asked, so please bear with me. I couldn't really find any disciplinary actions or anything in the state of Florida. I live in the state of Florida, and I did a lot of searching for a lot of the keywords, but I really just couldn't find anything that I could use for my discussion board. So I decided to research the state of North Carolina. It could be privacy issues in the state of Florida, I'm not sure. But North Carolina was pretty public with their information, so it gave me the information I needed. The North Carolina Licensed Clinical Mental Health Counselors Board provided information on several different cases that I was able to research. What I noticed is I saw a lot of cases that were like defrauding Medicaid, some over like $500,000 each. And some of the results of that was like revocation of their licenses. There was another set of cases that were public disorderly conduct, which was like, wow, what are counselors out there doing? But what I noticed is that those resulted in like probation and supervision for a year, where the counselor had to be supervised by another counselor before, he or she could go back into counseling. Another one that I found that was very common among several of them, this was a big one here. It was submitting false documentation of training attended for like CEUs, the continued education units. The most common seemed to be also like within that, like forging documents for training, falsification of training, printing false certificates and submitting them, just saying that they attended training that they didn't go to. And what I saw also, the outcome for that with the majority of those cases were complete revocation of their license. And what I did also notice that a lot of this was congruent with counselor impairment. Several of the cases, the counselors were found to be severely impaired. I did research that against the ACA Code of Ethics and the state law requirements for North Carolina as well. And I know under the ACA Code of Ethics, under Section C, C2F, continuing education, it speaks of making time to ensure that counselors are in good standing with their skill sets. Section C2G actually talks about impairment of counselors. Counselors are supposed to monitor themselves for any type of mental health issues or, if they're just feeling burnout, they're supposed to be able to put something in place and notify their supervisors and take the appropriate steps to ensure that their clients aren't affected by their impairment. Section C4E speaks to accreditation status, representing coursework accurately for degrees or programs. And Section C6B of the ACA Code of Ethics talks about reports to third parties with honesty and accuracy of reports. So again, this goes back and speaks to the falsification of documents like the CEUs, as well as, anything submitted for training that was not actually done. This also could speak to falsifying documents for Medicare payments and just anything that is not truly stated or accurate. The question that comes to mind for me is that are counselors overworking? And if so, is it for financial reasons? Were most of these counselors taking on more clients than they should have been taking on? And did that result in the burnout and the impairment? which, you know, made them choose poorly to falsify documents for training where they could have otherwise maybe attended that training properly and submitted it properly if they were not impaired. So that's a question that I had is, you know, are we managing time effectively? Are we scheduling clients? You know, are we overbooking and not allowing time to be able to do the proper training that needs to be done to keep up with the skill set? That is my discussion for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all again.